Hey guys, OG Albina here, bringing you guys my APA Academy Season 2 Week 1 battle against Shy Guy and his San Diego Spheals. I did do his team builder video yesterday, so if you are kind of interested in the 6 mods that we're bringing, like exact sets and stuff like that in the roster of my opponent, my thought process in building, definitely go check that out. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. But a quick rundown of what we're bringing. We're bringing a Kasib 3 attacks Wish Jirachi, a Choice Spec Speed Boosting Naganadel, a Choice Scarf Deoxys attack mixed, a Fizdef, mostly Fizdef, Rotom Mo with Yachi Berry, a Stealth Rock 3 attacks Mega Guard Chomp with a decent amount of Fizdef, enough to live a +2 Drill EQ if he's done a boosting item after rocks, and a Chople Berry 4 attacks Tyranitar. Now the team that my opponent decided to bring consists of the Excadrill, Terrakion, Uxie, Lantern, Gigalith, and Yveltal. Now, if you watch my team builder, you'll know I am very excited to not see a Mega Alakazam on the screen. That takes so much pressure off both my Jirachi and my Tyranitar. Now T-Tar can be basically only for that Yveltal, and Jirachi can kind of just be a bulky pivot in this game. It doesn't have too much of a purpose. It's probably my least useful member. But, you know, it just takes so much pressure off my team not being able to have to check both of those things because they kind of simultaneously overwhelm each other's checks. So that's definitely great for me, honestly. However, that doesn't make the matchup very much better. I don't break Uxie very well. I have Tyranitar that can kind of initially break him, but even then if he's like Pulver, he can eat a hit and U-turn out and do a decent chunk to me. I don't switch into Drill, I don't switch into Terrakion, and Yveltal is Yveltal. The rest of the team is, you know, pretty manageable, I would say. The Gigalith is here probably to set sand. It's going to eat a couple hits and be annoying. And the Lantern, I'm not too sure on why that mod ended up coming. Thinking back on my roster, I'm sure my opponent had a good reasoning, but nonetheless, I don't mind it at all, honestly. But yeah, with that being said, I am going to just lead off with my Jirachi here because I figure it is the least useful member, and I can, you know, kind of see what he wants to go for without, you know, getting a lead matchup potentially like horribly wrong. If he wants to go into his Gigalith, I can potentially, you know, start throwing off some Iron Head, starting to get some flinches. I can U-turn out on pretty much everything else. The only really badly would be the Excadrill, which he does lead off with, and the Yveltal. So this is really unfortunate right here. I do outspeed this thing outside of sand, but I decided to stay in and go for the U-turn just to scout and see if he's Scarf. We do see that he is not Mold Breaker, so he is most likely Sand Rush, which does make sense. I did expect Mold Breaker a tiny bit in this matchup, but, you know, that is, you know, obviously fine for me. Once I saw the Gigalith, I figured he wasn't, as I do go for the U-turn out as he ends up going for the Substitute, and this sucks. If I would have just stayed in an in Drain Punch, I would have been able to get a huge chunk off on this thing, and I live another EQ from it, and, you know, this Joe wouldn't have been as much of a problem, honestly, but he is going to be able to get behind a sub, throw off a huge X-Scissor right here. It does a huge chunk to me. I'm going to go for Leaf Storm, and I'm going to be able to break the sub. I think I need to be, like, -4 for it not to break the sub, depending on his bulk or something like that, and, you know, he is going to be able to get some lefties recovery back, showing me that he's not Life Orb, so my what do you call it? My Garchomp can always eat a hit from full from this thing, which is great. He does go for another X-Scissor, however, he is going to be able to knock out my Rotom, which is completely fine. You know, now that I know this thing's set and I have it a little bit weakened, I'm not as scared of it, being that he's not Life Orb and stuff like that, but it still is a big threat versus me, in all honesty, as I'm going to go out into my Garchomp right here. Hopefully scaring this thing out, as my opponent doesn't end up switching. We know he's not Shuka, and he doesn't do too much to me anyways. He's not Z-move, so he can't break through me like that. He's going to go out and do his Uxie, and I'm just going to throw out my Stealth Rock. Like I said in the team builder, I'm not going to Mega unless I really need to, because Garchomp's regular speed tier in this matchup is phenomenal, and being able to outspeed that Yveltal is really nice here, because we can potentially knock that thing out with a little bit of chip after rocks. So yeah, I'm going to pull the switch out here as he does go into the Uxie, though. And he does go for a good play, goes for the U-turn, knowing I probably wouldn't want to stay in because I don't do too much to that thing. I guess I could have started throwing off Dragon Claws, but I wanted to keep health on my Garchomp if at all possible. I guess he threw off like a Psychic or a Toxic or even a Hidden Power Ice or something like that. But yeah, he is going to go into the Drill, which is completely fine. At this point, I believe I am just going to stay in, and I'm going to spam Drain Punch. I don't want to let this thing get up a sub versus me again, because I don't even have my like, a check, I guess, in my Rotom Mo, as right here I am going to get back up to full with the Drain Punch, which is, again, really nice here. He is going to go for the Earthquake, but I know I can live this hit 100% of the time from completely full, being that he's not Life Orb or anything like that. I don't believe he's Adamant either. Well, he could be. I don't know. I don't know if I always lived an Adamant hit. I knew I always lived Jolly Joe's hit, though, as I am going to be able to live that. He is going to switch out, and I really wanted to U-turn here. It probably would have been a good play on my end. But he's going to go into the Yveltal, which is honestly fine, because this is going to give me a ton of chip on this thing. The Rocks plus Drain Punch, while Drain Punch isn't doing a lot, it still is doing a considerable amount to this thing. You know, that plus Rocks right here, and depending on if he's Life Orb, he's going to get even more chips and stuff like that. So yeah, I am going to just stay and kind of sack off my Rachi. It's pretty much useless at this point, and I actually turn out to be faster than him, so he must not be running a bunch of speed, and I do get a flinch with the Iron Head, which is great. He's going to be able to go for the Sucker Punch and knock out my Jirachi. Now, we are down 6-4 at this point. The game is still looking very salvageable. He does show to be Life Orb right here. However, I still do have the pieces on my team I think I need to win, and especially, like, you know, my main offense in this T-Tar. This T-Tar obviously is here for this Yveltal, and he is super, super low at this point. He can't roost up. I mean, he can't switch out because he's in range of Rocks, especially that plus Sand. So I'm just going to throw off a Stone Edge, as he does try and roost off some damage right here. But Stone Edge, even when he loses his Flying typing, does a ton to this thing. And, you know, that plus Sand is bringing him back down right where he was before. And he actually shows to not have the Focus Blast, which is, again, great for me because of the fact that, you know, I'm able to knock him out. I can save the Chople for something else on his team potentially later. I don't think I'll live to Terrakion Close Combat, depending on what set he is. But being able to take out this, what do you call it? Oh my gosh. Yveltal is phenomenal because that thing was terrifying versus me. I mean, it's terrifying versus everybody because it's Yveltal. But yeah. Next up, I am going to just go in and I'm going to sack my Naganadel because I figure it is my least useful number. You'll see that kind of comes back to bite me a little bit later. I don't know if this was the best play. My thought process was I didn't want to sack my T-Tar there because I figured it was my best way of breaking down that Uxie. It was by far my best way of breaking it down. In hindsight, I don't know if that was the correct play, but we'll see later. That does potentially come into play. He is going to throw off an Iron Head, but we are going to be able to waste an extra turn of Sand here, as he does get, you know, his lefties up and stuff like that. He's not going to be able to sub in front of a Naganadel, like, ever, so that's completely fine with me. He's going to go for the Earthquake right here, however, and he's going to be able to take out our Naga, which sucks, because this was actually phenomenal in the late game. If you look at how weakened his drill was, you know, Terrakion, Uxie, and Lantern and Gigalith. If I get a little bit of chip, Dragon Pulse, Specs Dragon Pulse runs through this team. But, oh well, not too big of a deal. As down goes our Naga, I'm going to go into my Deoxys. I know I can always outspeed this thing, which is, again, really, really nice for me. And I'm just going to throw off a superpower versus this thing and do a huge, huge chunk to it. It's definitely never living this in any universe. So down goes the Excadrill, and things are looking nice. The two biggest threats, in my opinion, to my team are gone right now. He knows that I'm Scarf now, however, which does very much suck, as he's going to be able to go into his Uxie. And right here, I expected just a potential U-turn or something like that versus my team, just because Deoxys would probably die to it or take a huge chunk to it, and I'm not doing anything with Superpower. At Mice 2, actually, I always die. So I am going to go out into my Garchomp at this point, as he does go for the U-turn. You know, on my Garchomp. And I figured this is fine because anything that wants to come in does not appreciate taking a Garchomp Earthquake in any universe. And at this point, I can throw off my Mega because I should outspeed everything. I don't think he's running a bunch of speed on the Uxie, which is completely fine with me. But he is going to make a good play. He's going to switch out. I wanted to go for the Dragon Claw potentially on this switch. I figured he would probably make it, but that Terrakion is such a giant threat versus me, I didn't think I could really make that play, unfortunately. As right here, he is going to, I am going to Mega at this point. I don't need my pre-Mega speed anymore. I'm going to throw off an Earthquake. It's not going to hit the Uxie, unfortunately. And it's going to get a little bit of Lefty's recovery back, which is fine. I can kind of just throw off Dragon Claws and try and break this thing down. At this point, I think I can win with my Deoxys, plus Tyranitar in the back, as he shows the Memento. And this is bad. So he's going to go down right here, but this is bad, because if he's, you know, Swords Dance Terrakion in the back, I don't think I can win this game. It gets really, really tough for me at that point. If he's Rock Polish, it should be fine, because I should be able to KO him with Earthquake even at -2. However, he does show the Sword Stance, and this sucks. I'm going to throw off an Earthquake just because I know I don't really have another play. I need to get chip off on this thing. And we're still going to do a big chunk to it. Even at -2, we do a big chunk with this Earthquake just because my Garchomp is a monster. And unfortunately, we don't get a crit or anything like that. But yeah, we are able to do a big chunk of this thing. I wish I had Swords Dance before, but I am going to stay in because I can potentially live a +2 hit from this thing depending on his spread. But he was Z-move. I probably should have scouted for that, but I didn't want to let him double dance. But there's no reason for him to ever Rock Polish up after this. But yeah, he is going to be able to throw off a big all-out pummeling, and my Garchomp actually will never live that hit in pretty much any universe, unless I'm like max for stuff. I think there's like a tiny chance. Even then, I don't think so. +2 Terrakion has no switch-ins in the game. But yeah, he is going to knock us out. Crit did not matter. Like I said, we were dropping that thing regardless. At this point, my best hope is to go into my Deoxys and hope that he does not have Quick Attack. Like I said, I can live a +1 Quick Attack after Rocks. I cannot live a +2, but he does show to have the Quick Attack, so good prep on Chai's part. Dio's going to go down, unfortunately. And then my Terrakion's going to come in, and even through Trouble, I'm never going to live a +2 close combat from this thing. So, unfortunately, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but we are going to lose our Week 1 game to Shai here. I don't think we played this game bad or anything like that. I think we actually played it pretty well. I think it was a really, really tough matchup, and Shai brought the 6 that he really needed to win this matchup. Fun fact, I actually played against a Memento Uxie in a mock, and the same exact thing happened. And I tried really hard to figure out what my counterplay to it was, and it was to not let the Uxie Memento. So unfortunately, it is going to be able to, pick us off Week 1, and we are going to lose. Hopefully next week we can bounce back. It is another pretty tough matchup, but that's kind of just the nature of this team. It's not the best. It is a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun building for this week, which is a good thing, but the team itself isn't the best, so we're going to have a lot of tough matchups this season. I do think our builds and stuff like that and our playing can potentially, overcome that, but we're in this to have fun in our last Gen 7 league and stuff like that. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy the video, despite our pretty tough loss there at the end, be sure to like, and if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you can catch our league games as they go up every week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here.